Well, it's a hot day today. Hi, it's Tuesday. Currently, it's hot, but I'm still drinking a coffee out of my clear shit mug. I am team narrator, as my mug says. I'm about to edit, not even last week's vlog, the vlog from the time before. Don't come for me. I did I tell you where I was at last night? Got about 100 pages into Prelude for Lost Souls on audiobook after I finished Supernova. This was really good. I had a good time reading what I've read so far. I was surprised. This says for like fans of Maggie Stiefvater and Nova and Suma, and there was another one I can't remember. And I totally get those comparisons. I feel like it really does have like Raven Cycle, but not. Like, it's not the Raven Cycle, but it's that same kind of small town, fabulous kind of thing going on. We follow two boys from a town that is full of mediums. Like, the whole town is full of mediums. Like, they actually speak to ghosts. And then we also follow a Russian concert pianist who's on tour, and she ends up in the town, but her mentor died, and so you can see where that's gonna start like going. But she really wants to, like, he's set her the task of finding the complete version of this sonata that somebody didn't finish before they died. I think Mozart or something. Was an unfinished sonata, and he thinks she'll like change the world if she can complete it. So you can see how these threads are gonna like come together, but it has that same like small towny vibes. Characters are interesting so far. I'm really enjoying it. I didn't get 200 pages, an extra 200 pages through Wave Kings, which is what I was aiming for, but I got about 100 extra pages in last night. I got about 100 more pages through last night, so I'm not sure if I'll manage to finish it today, but we're gonna try. Being the last day of the month, I'm on page 318. Again, still really enjoying this. I keep forgetting that I'm not halfway through the book. I'm like a quarter of the way through the book. There's so many threads and things going on. It's very expansive. I was a bit scared going into this series that it would be way too over my head, or that I would find it boring, because a lot of people compare the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, of which this is book 1, to the Wheel of Time series, which he finished writing after the original author died. And I have read the first Wheel of Time thinking I was going to love it. It turns out no, I did not love it. I really struggled with it, actually. I found it really slow. It just was not good for me. Yeah, it was very slow. I felt like nothing happened, but also like it was 500 pages of nothing happening, which felt like so tedious. And I read that like years ago. And I've never felt inclined to pick up book 2. So I was a bit scared this would be also true of Wave Kings. Like 1,000 pages of, not like 1,000 pages scares me that it's gonna go slow, I think was my problem. Like, I've read 1,000-page books before. I've freaking read Name of the Wind. Like, I really should not be concerned, but I was. Like, I liked Name of the Wind, and I've read XX. I've read a bunch of 1,000-page books, and it's fine. So I don't know why this one particularly scared me that it would be slow. Probably just those comparisons to Wheel of Time. But like, I get it's like Wheel of Time in its expansiveness and complicated plot. Like, it's like layers of plot. Like a funnel of plot. I'm really liking Kaladin, who's like one of the main characters, and I had to have a little Google, and I found a lot of people talking about it. His similarities to Calcia, who's one of the main characters in Mistborn. They do have a lot of similarities. They're the same archetype, I feel like. And so I'm enjoying Kaladin. I like Shalyn, who's a side character we were with for a little bit. Now we're not with her for a bit, but we're going to come back to being with her again. And that kind of setup where like you're coming and going from characters and you're not sitting with them for a whole story or continuing with them in the background the whole time gives me very Lord of the Rings vibes. How like when you're reading the book, you just take half a book to go hang out with these characters, and then for another half a book you go hang out with these characters, rather than like a blended perspective. In Lord of the Rings I hated that, but that's because I zoomed through the parts with Aragorn and that side, especially through book 2 and 3, but I hate Frodo. So reading Frodo's I'm on an adventure side, I felt like two different stories and I didn't like it. And I really struggled through Frodo's section. So this, at least, like all the characters, the only character I feel like is maybe flagging a little bit is Dalinar and Adolin, who are on the king level, but like of the plot, like as things are going down on the multi-levels, they're up on the king level and I can see where things are going, but I'm waiting for things to pick up. Like it feels like we were really only introduced to them in this section. They haven't really been in the plot until like page 200. So I'm interested to see how, like, I could see where Shalyn was going on a trajectory, and I can see where Kaladin's going on a trajectory. I haven't quite figured out where Dalinar and Adolin are going on their trajectory yet, so I'm interested to see how it plays out and to see like more of that drive come into their point of view, because that's what I think it's missing currently. But I've read like 4 chapters from them, so I'm gonna try and finish it today. Finish part 1 today of this beast of a book, and we'll see if I can. I might not be able to, but we'll see. I'm gonna edit this video. Hello, it's Wednesday, it's the first day of the month. I did not finish Way of Kings part 1 last night. I'm like 150 pages from the end. I read like 120 pages, I just did not get to the end. So it's carrying over into December. My goal for today is to finish that, finish listening to the audiobook for Prelude for Lost Souls and start another audiobook. And I would also like to read all of Skyward Volume 1 today and start Way of Kings part 2. That might be a bit ambitious, but we'll see. I'm gonna go to work now, so I'll have lots of audiobooking time, but we'll see how everything kind of plays out, and I'll get back to you later in the day. It's stinking hot, but I'm gonna go to work. It's Friday morning. I'm about to put my hair up properly and go shower, but I'm going out this morning with my bestie and her baby. We're going to do a library run and a coffee run. I also need to go to the bookstore, but I'm not sure if we're actually if I'm going to do that on my own or we're doing that this morning. This afternoon I have that is the water trough, if you can hear it. It's a work Christmas party or end of year gathering, which is pretty chill, but I gotta go. It's not a fancy one this year because budget's low. It's just for the uni is not giving out money for Christmas parties, which is fair enough. So we are just hanging out, BYO, chairs and blankets and stuff, picnic blankets, food, and it's going to be a good time. I'm going to get to catch up with a lot of people that I haven't seen in person for a while. Yesterday, me saying I was going to read a whole lot yesterday, I read Skyward Volume 1. And I really enjoyed it. This is like the first graphic novel in a while I've given 5 stars, like straight off the bat. It was way more intense than I expected, way more emotionally charged. I was expecting this to be kind of like cutesy and fun. No. It was really intense. And I read 120 pages of Way of Kings Part 2. Now I'm onto that one. I also finished listening to Prelude for Lost Souls, which, did I give that? End up giving that 5 stars as well? I might have rounded it up. It was like a 4.5. Yeah. So I gave it 5 stars, rounded up from like a 4.5. It was really solid. And it had that little like extra something that things like the Raven Boys and I don't even know what else, but just like had like this really like well emotionally connected vibe, which is like what I like best about the Raven Boys. There's a lot of things I don't like about the Raven Boys, but that's the thing I do like. Basically we just followed 3 kids. The 2 boys are best friends, and they grew up in this town where everyone's mediums and talk to the dead, but they both have kind of a bit of a problem where neither of them feel like they're that good at it. One of them has seen this ghost around him all his life that no one else can see, and it's like made him not attuned to his own mediumship, and the other one can talk to ghosts but only when they want to talk back, and it's kind of in their little town's society it's really valued to be able to like control your mediumship, and he really couldn't. And so he's been using a drug that he designed from his grandmother's recipes to like take himself near death to talk to the ghosts when he wants to talk to them. And then the girl is a Russian pianist who had her mentor discovered this unauthored prelude, but it wasn't complete, and so she'd been playing it but it kind of like ends in the middle of nowhere, and she's kind of on a journey now that her mentor has died to find the rest of it, and it all kind of connects together, and it was really good. I really enjoyed this. I know there's a like kind of sequel coming. It's not a direct sequel, but it was following some of the same characters, and I'm very excited for that because this was really good. I knew I should have trusted her because I really liked Helene Dunbar's previous book, which was a contemporary set during the AIDS epidemic, and it was really good as well, and really like strong connection to characters, so I should have trusted it, but I was a bit nervous about it, but I did end up really loving it. The only critique I have is that the audiobook's narrator is American for the Russian girl, and she just then kind of speaks like the internal dialogue is just in a normal American accent with then some like language construction things that would be appropriate for a Russian speaker attempting like speaking English, with some of those like perfect sentences that aren't colloquially like normal. But that was the only bit that I was like, that kind of breaks the wall for me and it doesn't quite work, but I can understand the reasoning for an audiobook of not using someone with a strong accent. But anyway, I'm going to go shower and get dressed to go out for breakfast and try and read a bit more of this today, get a good chunk through it, and the next audiobook I'm starting is These Violent Delights by Mika Nevmer. I don't know how to pronounce the surname, but this is a queer dark academia. I'm excited about it. Oh my god, I feel so seedy. When did I even talk to you last? It is Sunday morning. Friday we had a Christmas party. I went out for coffee with my friend, and then we had a Christmas party in the afternoon. And that went really well. It was just like a picnic. It was really good. I had a good time. And then I went home, walked Mika, got mad because I couldn't listen to my audiobook because for some reason it kept skipping. I think something in my pants was like setting off, like pressing buttons on my phone. I'm not sure what's going on. And then I got a bit of rope burn and damage from Mika. It's not wanting to focus, but yeah, she gouged me. Not her, it was the rope, her lead. And then I read a little bit that night, but not a lot. And then yesterday I was like, look at me go, I'm gonna finish Way of Kings Part 2 today. And instead I cleaned the house, helped my brother-in-law do gardening, because he mows our lawns, and I helped him like weed and fill holes where Mika's been digging and stuff. So we had to go to Bunnings and get the hardware store and get equipment stuff. And then, as this yawn indicates, we went out for dinner with a friend of ours. It was her birthday, and it was planned dinner. Then it became dinner in a pub crawl. And it was really fun. I was even dizzy, so I didn't even drink that much. But Lord help me, I cannot handle cider. I feel so seedy today. I had a bottle of sake, delicious. Jessie and I shared 2 bottles, so a bottle. And I had a pot of cider, and the cider ruined me. And then I had a mocktail because I was driving. Jessie had cocktails, so I think he's going to be feeling it. He's currently in the shower, I think, but I'm feeling seedy. I just had some breakfast to try and like smooth it over. But today being Sunday, and I did all my cleaning yesterday, what I all have to do today is film my November haul and wrap up, which I think should get done today with no problem. And I'm going to spend the rest of the day dedicated to trying to finish Way of Kings, and also maybe zoom through The Girl and the Goddess by Nikita Gill, because that's poetry. So that's where we're at. I'm going to try and remember to update you at the end of the day with how I go. But yeah, I didn't even film any good footage of us drinking. Like, what was even the point? What was even the point? This seedy belly should have warranted some good video. I have a kitten. I have a me. It's Monday night. Today, busy. I worked. I listened to quite a bit of These Violent Delights by Mika Nemerova. I have about, I think, like 2 hours of listening on double speed left, because there's no double speed. Yeah, I have about 2 hours of actual listening left, so I should finish that tomorrow. I'm back out of focus again. There we go. Also, the second mini boss for Clear Shit gets announced tomorrow, or overnight, so that's exciting. I also today currently just finished this second part of Way of Kings, so it's done. It's done. It's been holding me back because it was such a beast to get through, and I should be able to really pick up the pace book-wise from here. So fingers crossed, pray for me. I ended up giving the Way of Kings as an overall. I know this is like a random way to jump into a vlog, but oh, I should say what else I did before I start chatting about Way of Kings. Today we put up our Christmas tree. I'll try and remember to get some B-roll so you can see it here. But we put up our Christmas tree. It was the thing we had to do, and it is now done. I need to finish my Christmas shopping tomorrow, but I did a lot of, work things today, and then read. I finished Way of Kings Part 2, which means I wrapped up the book. And I'm giving the whole thing a 4 stars. I enjoyed it throughout. I do think this book felt like a lot of world and character building and not a lot of plot, and it made it hard. It was a grueling pace. It was very slow, and the end was good, but not quite enough to like tip it over the edge into a 5-star. It was very much a 4-star for me. I'm really intrigued about book 2 because I feel like it could get a lot better, especially if the pace picks up now that the world's kind of settled in. Like, I feel like I understand the world now to an extent. So I'm hoping that the next book will pick up the pace a bit. Obviously April and I are planning on reading the Words of Radiance, the second book, over January and February, so we will see. I'm currently reading, I just started, and I'm going to read for a little bit longer, The Girl and the Goddess by Nikita Gill, which is a poetry collection, so I'll definitely finish that tomorrow, and These Violent Delights. And the book after that I'm going to be reading is A Master of Gin by Pijley Clark, and I'll let you know in the morning what I end up picking for the mini boss battle craft. For the first one I picked a bunch of poetry and a graphic novel, and this one I have a plan to pick some audiobooks, so I will keep you posted what I ended up picking once I see what my prompt is. For now, I'm gonna go read some more of this poetry collection and then go to sleep because it's getting late. Welcome to Tuesday. I'm gonna finish up. I've actually ordered a bunch of Christmas gifts today. So that's good. I'm gonna finish up the last of my Christmas buying this afternoon. I am 70 pages into The Girl and the Goddess, and I'm going to keep working on this today. I'm hoping to finish it, as I mentioned yesterday. The prompt, the mini boss prompt dropped overnight. It hurt me. My weakness was that I'm an overpacked and overstuffed, which is so me. I think for like picking over something like packs way more books than you need, like packs 10 books for a 2-day trip, which is me, but it meant that my prompt was a book that's too heavy to pack. That terrified me. I did some finagling, so I was like, heavy books, I don't believe any book is too heavy to pack, or none that I have on my TBR at any rate. So instead I was like, oh, biggest book, but it's not biggest book prompt, and I didn't really want to read my biggest book. Plus 4 prompts, like I'm doing 4 for each prompt, so I didn't want to pick 4 of my biggest books, and I've already had some of my biggest books on this TBR. So instead I reinterpreted the prompt a bit, so I focused on this idea of heavy, and so instead I'm picking books with heavy subject matter. So I've picked Taboo by Kim Scott, which is an Indigenous Australian, Aboriginal Australian story set in Western Australia, and follows this kind of situation where a white farm owner, like atrocities happened on his land, murder and massacres, and he's walking a group of local Aboriginal people through some like Noongar people through his land. A whole lot of stuff happened on this land, and I'm rereading it now, and I had it misinterpreted. But it's about revisiting, reconnecting to land, but through past the experience of a massacre. Taboo. It's going to be heavy. I'm listening to that on audiobook, and then I decided to also pick up Dear Martin by Nick Stone, which is about a wrongful imprisonment of a black man, I think, or a black kid, or a shooting. I can't quite remember. It's quite short. I'm also going to pick up Comfort Me with Apples by why can't I remember her name because it's long, Catherine Valente, which is a novella that's apparently super weird, super dark. And then the other one I'm going to pick up is Summer Suns by Lee Mandello, which I just recently hauled. This is a like dealing with relationships through grief. It's a like new adult kind of story, but also like through grief with some paranormal aspects. So I'm taking the whole prompt as heavy, and that's where we're going. So I'm going to finish These Violent Delights, which is my current audiobook read, and start Taboo, which I have out from my library today. So we only have one more boss battle of mystery prompts to announce, which will be in a fortnight. 2 weeks if you're American and don't know what a fortnight is. So I'm working on that. Obviously I finished Wave Kings Part 2, so I ticked that off. Yeah, I had a shift tonight that got cancelled, so I am hoping I can send through all of this, but then also a good chunk of A Master of Jinn tonight as well. So that's my reading plans for today. It's like 380 pages? Yeah, 390. So I'm gonna try and make a really solid head start on that and go from there. So I just finished reading The Girl and the Goddess by Nikita Gill. I actually ended up really liking this a lot more than any of the other Nikita Gill I've read. We've played some crosswords too, so I didn't get through like as fast as I anticipated, but I really liked it. This is much more a novel in verse than the other things I've read from her, which were much more like just a collection of poetry along a theme. This felt more powerful because the story built and continued across the whole thing, and it just did more than any of the other collections I've read from her. So I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I still think poet's style is not like the most interesting to me. Like, it's not the poetry that made it interesting, it was the story arc from start to finish of the novel in verse rather than the poetry itself. So as a poetry collection, the poems were not high class for me. They're just not the type of poetry I like. But the story was amazing. So 5 stars for The Girl and the Goddess. It looks like this. I'm going to start a Master of Gin tomorrow. I'm going to go to bed for now. I also read 72 pages of Taboo by Kim Scott tonight. I didn't realise Kim Scott was a guy, but I figured that out pretty quick. And yeah, I've been enjoying this so far. I'm only 72 pages in and I feel like the plot is still settling in, but there is some weird stuff happening. I'm very unsettled. I will keep you updated. So far it's been a lot about like navigating these cultural interfaces. It's interesting. It's fucking cool so far, but I'm so on edge. I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow because I have a lot of stuff to do that I could listen to audiobook tree. So I'll keep you updated because I'm intrigued. Don't look at me, I've been very bad at updating this vlog. To be fair, I haven't read a lot. It's been a kind of slow reading week. I've been working on a Master of Gin. I'm gonna finish it today. It's Sunday, by the way. Yesterday I read like 50 pages total and it was like 30 pages of this, but I had a kind of busy day. What did we do? I was sitting down to read and then I ended up going to buy some shoes and we had to go pick up Jesse's little brother from a friend's house, which was like an hour away, so like 2 hours on the road. It was fun. It was a good time. And then I read for a little bit and then we went for dinner. So at his mum's house and we spent the evening there. So I just didn't get a lot of reading time yesterday. I was hoping to finish this yesterday. Alas, didn't happen. But I'm determined to finish it this morning. It's currently just after, it's 10:30. I have about 150 pages left, just under. And I'm very determined to finish it today and read all of Girl from the Sea and start Cute Mutants. I have 2 jobs I have to do today, like 2 chores. I want to change my sheets and actually, do I want to change my sheets? Our dog is on heat, so I'm like, maybe I'll wait a little bit till she's done. So maybe that will wait actually. I do need to clean the fish tank, which is my like big job for the day. But I will get that done probably after lunch. But I'm gonna read now. I do need to get dressed, but we'll get there at some point. I'll check in later. Sorry, this vlog's gonna be terrible. I say that every time. I should stop apologizing for terrible vlogs. You're used to it by now. So I finished Master of Gin. It's, what time is it now? Just after 4. I finished it like 3. And I'm really enjoying it. It was really good. It was like a 4.5 rounded up, so I gave it 5 stars. The ending, like, I predicted it by about midway, but I still thought it was executed really well and it was really fun, and I loved all the references to the short stories that came and novellas that came before this. I was bringing because my housemates are sleeping prior to a night shift. It's just a really solid book. I would really recommend it. A really solid fantasy, but I do think there is value in having read the novellas and short stories before, because they do a lot of world building that's then not duplicated in this. So it would be useful to have that backstory, if that makes sense. And then I just breezed through The Girl in the Sea by Mutants Ostertag, and this was a really sweet little novella. It's like a little bit about environmentalism, but also about being gay and how to fit in with friends and stuff. It was really cute. Basically we're following this girl Morgan who's having a hard time. Her parents are divorced and her and her brother are struggling to get along, and her and her friends, like, she feels really distanced from her friends, and then she meets this girl Kelty who is a Selkie, and yeah, it was so cute, really good. I gave it 5 stars, slammed through it in like 15 minutes. Now I'm going to start Cute Mutants Volume 2, which is, let me open up my iPad. Young, Gifted and Queer is the, like, Volume 2. This is a X-Men, queer X-Men series. It's not actually X-Men, it's like X-Men. And book 1 I absolutely loved at the start of this year. And there's like 6 of them now. So I really need to keep reading and catch up. So I'm about to start Volume 2 on my iPad. And hopefully I can read it pretty quickly because they're pretty fast paced. So I'm very excited. They're just super fun. Esther Whitby is the author, and they're a Kiwi author. So it like has the right sense of humour for like me. Because she's New Zealand, which is like from New Zealand, and New Zealand and Australia have very similar senses of humour, so I'm really excited. And then after that book, which will probably roll into next week, but after that I'm hopeful to read, I want to read Her Christmas Cookie, which was the one of our 2 polyamory plot hole books of the month. They're both novellas. And then I want to read Summer of Salt. The audiobook I've been listening to is Belle Revolts. My plan is to listen to some more of this over while I cook dinner. I'm making a zucchini slice for dinner tonight, so while I go to the supermarket and make dinner, I'll be listening to this. I'm like 170 pages in. I don't think I'll be finishing it today by any means, but hopefully tomorrow. So that's what I'm working on that front. And yeah, I'll let you know where we get. Hopefully I'll do a wrap up tonight of like where I got to before we move on to the next vlog. Alright, let's wrap this vlog up. It is Monday, it's afternoon now. I'm pulling together some lunch, but I got about 100 pages into Cute Mutants last night. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time, the 100 or so pages I've read so far. I'm really loving it. Can't wait to keep going. Hoping to slam through it tonight because I think I could slam it. Currently doing some work, listening to audiobooks. I feel like this is so uneventful. I don't have anything to tell you about, but thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks. I appreciate you. If you've been staying here till the end of this very boring, probably boring video, feel free to leave me an emoji down below or something like that. Just to let me know you're here if you don't want to leave a comment. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye.